morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on Nigeria Now at Equa TV International. And today we are going to look at the autonomy of local government, which the National Assembly on the 1st of March passed the amendment bill in order to grant the local government autonomy. And then, since then till now, we didn't hear anything concerning how the states have been pushing the local government autonomy to be a reality. We know local government autonomy has been an issue that the country, particular group, have been pushing so hard to see that local government have been granted autonomy so that they can operate at the grassroots level. And we're asking, why is it that up to now the process is still stalled? And today, me and my co-hosts will discuss that. Don't forget that we are live on Facebook and YouTube. You can do well to follow us, send us your candid opinion concerning this issue that we'll be discussing today. Lois, good morning.
Good morning.
Local government autonomy. How far so far? You know, 1st of March 2022, the National Assembly passed the constitutional amendment to grant the physical aid administrative autonomy to local government in Nigeria. And then so far it's only Abia and Kogi that have voted in favor of the bill of the local government autonomy out of the 36 states that we have in this country.
You know, recently the Supreme Court nullified the Executive Order 10 put in place that by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020 that gives the local government and then the state legislature and judiciary their financial autonomy. But then they said the Supreme Court nullified it and said the Nigerian leader has overstepped his boundaries by giving such a role. And just like you said, only 2 states have voted in favor of this particular bill, and the remaining states are yet to say if they are in it or not. And then we need or the country needs 24 states to be able to vote in favor of this particular bill so that it will be passed into law, and then local governments will have financial autonomy to be able to lead their people properly and do the needful when it comes to their finances. Because when you look at it, the local government is the grassroots governments close to the people, and then it's expected that they have their autonomy financially so that they will be able to administer what they can in favor to these people, because talking about resources, talking about the well-being of the people. You can't have the executive all the way from the top to come to the people and then start asking them what they want. But when you come to the councillors, you talk to the chairman of the local government, they can be able to reach the grassroots people and then know what exactly they need. And even if they know what they need and they don't have the resources available for them to do what they are supposed to do for these people, they won't be able to do it. Because if you look at it now, let's say they have to wait for the state government and then maybe the federal government to send them funds to be able to do some of these things they need to do. It's usually difficult if you can look at the way things are especially in this country, from one step to another and all of that. So it takes longer period for them to be able to do some things that are needed in the society. But if they have their autonomy, they will be able to do it, I think, without much stress as it is at the time being.
I'm beginning to check the process, you know, from the National Assembly, what happened at the Green Chamber. You know, during the amendment, 250 reps members voted in favor of the local government autonomy.
Yes.
And then that is out of 360 members. And then with this process, that means some people are willing. That is the reason why we are talking about the issue of bringing laws, generating laws that is society friendly.
Favorably.
Yes, that can favor the masses, and then something that the masses can easily identify with, because like you rightly say in the beginning, this is the government that is directly relating with the people at the grassroots, and you expect to see whatever is translated up, whatever is happening up there, it is easier to replicate it down when you have this this autonomy, because it will give them room to do other things that they are being limited by the law right away. And then when people like that are for such kind of a bill, I think we should give them kudos. And we say there are so many bills that are lying down there that are for the masses. And then you don't see those bills, like people pushing them, that they will pass through to second to third reading, that will look forward to the Mr. President assenting to whatever law. And we said, if people like that are pushing, and then people at the grassroots are not really looking at it in that angle, you begin to wonder, like we are talking now. By now, we expect to see like the states have like quickly swept into action and say, okay, this bill is for our people, is for the benefit of our people. Why can't we just be fast about it and then see how this thing will pass, and then the people will start enjoying the dividends of this democracy. So looking at it too, is really, really the number, I would say, is inadequate.
There was a time we brought an issue about the National Assembly, when they bring some people that have the people in mind will bring some of these things, and then they will just counter it almost immediately and just throw it out, and some people even make fun of it. So it's almost similar to this, that this issue of financial autonomy to the local government, that is really key. Just like we said, this is the third tier of government that is closer to the people, and by so doing, it will help them to be able to meet the needs of the people in the society. But you see that they are not really even going for it like that with so much enthusiasm. They are just skeptical, and they have this lackadaisical attitude towards it. So the thing is, when these things are not being done, it affects the people, especially the people in the grassroots. And then those are the people you need to during elections. They are the people you go and mobilize and say, okay, come and vote for me. Because most times people in the grassroots level, if they are not sensitized, if they are not educated about some political aspirants that are vying for one political office or the other, they might not really even know. They can just vote blindly. But then you need them in one way or the other to help you achieve your goals. And then you're not trying to help them when you get there. You're not pushing for their cause. You're not trying to help them get what they need in the society that will help them aid their living. Rather, they are trying to push the autonomy away. Meanwhile, this is an important aspect. There's the local government reforms of 1979, if I'm correct, that brought about all this thing. Even during the military regime, there were issues that came up I can remember during Babangida's reading, based on reports. Of course, I wasn't born then, but then based on research and some of these things, when you go through research, you will see that the reports say he even helped to give them that autonomy too. That's even the military regime, not to talk of democracy that we're using right now, that is supposed to aid some of these things. But then we don't see that happening, especially the National Assembly that are supposed to be pushing some of these bills into law.
Because the advantage of this local government autonomy, it's it's something that you cannot just say it is something that someone will just work and then give it a waiver.
Yes.
Because when you look at it, it's something that it will bring development. Local government will use their money directly on things that they know is of importance to the masses at that level. And then based on priority.
Yes.
Because local government A problem will not be the same with local government B. And then you find out that people will really feel the government close to them, because you have the chairman, you have the councillors, to work with them direct. And the idea of the state government hijacking the local government finances and then deciding for them what to do, and it's alarming. And I think it's something that all Nigerians should come out and discourage that and kick against it. Because, yes, the law says we have the local government, we have the state, and we have the federal government. Ideally, they are supposed to operate separately. Yes, but you find out that even the governors take advantage of that, and they muzzle they muzzle the local government, and then they decide, or rather I will say they dictate to them, what to do, how to even run the local government. So you will find out sometimes the governors decide to work in local governments that they feel maybe it's somebody that is representing me that is the chairman of that local government, or people, someone from my same party. You find it very difficult, somebody from a different party with the governor at the grassroots level finding things easy. Because at some point, even the ones that are in the same party, you will just find them, they're just there like a rubber stamp. Whatever the governor says, that's what they will do. They always do his bidding. So sometimes you find out even the issue of allowing them to have their own autonomy is being frustrated at the center of the state. And when you talk about the state, the governors have, I can say, permit me to say, excess power. That they even control the national and the state assemblies, and whatever they want, that is what the state assemblies will do. You find out at the end of them, they are doing their bidding. And then you ask, are we really practicing this democracy that we talk about? What is the power of the legislature? What is the power of the judiciary? And then you find out the executive are exercising all the powers, only them. And then you find out that things are not really okay, because, to be honest, there is no check and balance.
Exactly. Based on what the president in May 2020 signed, the executive order that was signed by the president said he rightly grants financial autonomy to the judiciary, the legislature, as well as the local government councils as the third tier of government, and is highly commendable. The order also mandates the Accountant General of the Federation to deduct from source amount due to state legislatures and judiciaries from the monthly allocation to each state for states that refuse to grant such autonomy. This would definitely remain one of the landmark achievements of this administration on policy paradigm shift towards a more people-friendly leadership structure of long-running dysfunctional polity. Because if you look at the issue of this local government autonomy, it didn't just start today. Like, it has gone through different administrations, and then till now, it's still having some kind of, it's still shaky in a way, that they still haven't done the needful for the local government. So it is really important that if this thing is being signed and everything is being done, they should just have what they are supposed to have. That's talking about the local government, so that, just like you've said, the executive will not hold everything. At the end of the day, there's no check and balances, and then some of these things are not being done rightly. So if these things are being done the way that it should be, like, the president has done what the needful is, remaining for the National Assembly to do what they are supposed to do, so that this thing will be signed into law, and then the autonomy will be given to them to be able to disburse and do what they are supposed to do in the grassroots level. So it's really very important that this thing is being done. And then worthy of note is that it runs in tandem with Section 7 of the 1999 Constitution, which clearly spells out the functions of the local government. And then this includes the provision and maintenance of primary, adult and vocational education, the development of agriculture and natural resources other than the exploitation of minerals. And then we're talking about going back to the farms and all these things. It's back to the grassroots level, because most now in the urban areas, you hardly even find farm lands for you to even build houses. It's highly populated, and then everybody's looking for land to build and not for the farmland. And if you're talking agriculture, definitely you go to the villages and the rural areas for you to be able to farm. And if they don't have the needed facilities, the needed equipment for farming, then definitely we are going to suffer all these things. That's why now the issue of insecurity has even crept into the whole issue of agriculture, and then farming is difficult nowadays. But then with all these things, I think if insecurity is being curbed, then the local government should have enough finances to be able to finance agriculture, because I know that's the mainstay basically. When you talk of rural areas, you talk of agriculture. So I think basically this is going to tackle all of these issues.
Yes, talking about tackling insecurity and the rest, the president of Nigerian Union of Local Government Employees, Mr. Akim Al-Abali, said the major issues beveling the nation will be addressed with effect which affect local government system. The Nuga president said that the problem of insecurity, lack of social amenities, poverty, unemployment will vanish once there is functional local government system in the country. So, as it is, we just have a local government by name that is not functioning. And
no wonder, sorry to cut you, when you go to some of the secretariats, you hardly even find people there. You can, like, okay, I remember a time that well, just say your point before I drag you out of it.
No. Just make your point. Just make your point.
Yeah, I remember a time that I went to my local government to get something, and then when I went there, like around, I think 10 to 11, there were almost nobody in the building, like, and then when you hear stories about people that work in the local government, it's almost like they don't even do anything. So if there is a functional system there, I think it's going to work. Local government is really underestimated, because like we've said, it is the grassroots, and then we need the people in the rural areas for most of the things that we need in this country. So if it's being neglected, there are a lot of, no wonder some things are really not even working.
I agree with you. And I will say kudos to this regime. I think it's one of the things that will always remember them, because of just this giant stride, this purposeful drive, having towards that. Because if you look at it very well, like the grassroots are the engine room of the country, because they make things happen. If you talk about farming, you have to go down to the grassroots, because you can't farm, in the city. You have to go down to the grassroots. And if you are talking about businesses, people that buy and sell, once the local government system is working, you will find out things will just fall in place. Like you said, people now are migrating from the rural areas, from the local government, coming up to the capital of a state, looking for a greener pasture. And if you ask, what are they looking for? Access to healthcare, access to electricity, access to good water supply, and then what again? Maybe just good roads. And these things, they can be replicated, in this our local government. But the local government system has to work. If not, you will always see this this gap, when it comes to issue of governance. Why would you think that you can only come to the city, to the city center to find these amenities? You can still be at the local government level and have whatever you want, access to good healthcare, access to education, access to good water supply, access to electricity. What will bring you to the city?
You know, it's sometimes alarming when you go to some of these rural areas and then you see a good road and you be, oh wow, that's nice. Like, you know, it's even something that we are not even used to, like going to some rural areas and then see some of them are not even let's say vehicles, they are not motorable. Some of them you have to use the bike. That now the federal government is saying it wants to ban the motorcycles because of the issue to curb insecurity. And some of these rural areas, that's the only means of transportation to those areas. And then when you go to places that you see good roads, you'll be shocked, like, whoa, something is happening around here. But that is not supposed to be the case. What is obtainable in the urban area should be obtainable also in the rural areas. If they have all these things, I don't think people will want to even come to the urban areas. Why? The urban areas are so populated and a lot of issues. You have issues of crime and all of that. But then people are running from the rural areas to come to the urban areas because of the issues of lack of roads, electricity, good water supply, and then the issue of insecurity. But once all these things are being taken care of, I think it will be better.
Yes, it will be better for us, because if we were talking about a good Nigeria, that everything works like Nigeria of our dream, it's possible. It's possible. When you look at it and you ask yourself, why is it that it's working in some countries and then it's not working in our own country? And somebody will just say, who do us? You know, is pidgin. Like, give me the translation. Who do us?
Your village people. God forbid.
So, God forbid. Please, we think this issue of local government autonomy, it's key. Yes, we know there are people that will definitely fight it with everything that they have. And I feel we have all it takes for us to make this thing work. We call on the national and the state assemblies to do the needful in their states. Please, this thing is to our own favor. Because once the grassroots is working, the local government is working, everything will just fall in place. We will just curb the issue of migration, you know, from the rural to the city, and then you're overpopulating the city, you are stretching the facilities in the cities, you know, and the rest. And then you find out the issue of governors taking over all this local government, muzzling them, like caging them, dictating for them. That thing will not be there. Even in our democracy, that would help us, because you can't just wake up and say you are in control of so local government A or B, you are in control. Definitely they have their own autonomy, so they decide who rules them. So you cannot outrightly say you are in control of all the local governments, like, I mean, you putting them as rubber stamp, that you just stamp everything. They have their own system. They will work in favor of their people, and then before you know it, all of us will smile because things are working for our country.
You know, there was an interview with the president on Arise TV some time ago, and then he said the local government chairmen have been compromised in such a way that they have been telling them what to do, instead of them having their own, like you said, rubber stamp. They are just like rubber stamp. Like, they are supposed to be active and doing what that particular office mandated them or mandates them to do. That in such a way that they were being bullied by state governors to surrender much of their statutory allocation under duress. The president said, you as a local government, you are supposed to receive 300 million. A document is given to you to sign that you have received 300 million, but you are being given only 100 million. So if this issue of autonomy is being given to them, then I think if they are given 3 million and the document is being given to them that they are given 3 million, they should be given 3 million instead of being given 3 million and then you sign a document that you have received, and at the end of the day you're receiving 1 million.
Do you know the reason why they will sign and they will be quiet about it? Is because the person that is in charge of that local government, the governor puts him there. Yes, in some cases, in local governments, there's no election. It's just appointment. So what did you expect? But look at it, when there is this local government autonomy, you can't just come to the local government and just write them like that. That means that local government can take you to court.
Definitely.
You understand? So we're hoping that the state national assemblies will do the needful and vote for, not against. And we will follow this story and see who voted against and who voted for. Definitely. So that we will follow and see the reasons why you are being given autonomy and then you are saying no to your people. Then we will see the kind of people that will allow them to come and lead us.
Definitely.
I think that is important.
Yes, very important. Well, thank you for doing this with me today. Tomorrow, we'll still be back on your screen with a new episode of Nigeria Now, where I remain Lois Turaki, and I did this with Solomon Sambo Sabi. Have a blessed day.